Your executions at sunset will give you the respect of choosing how you die.
Here we are back for episode 3. This one is called False Gods and was written by the grand dame Kim Shumway.
Hello.
Hi, Kim.
I'm excited to be here and excited that people finally get to see the season.
This episode was directed by Tim Scanlon, who is a rock star in post and has directed a whole bunch of episodes over the course of the run, and his episodes never fail to be great.
This was the episode where there was a power outage for the first time ever in the history of the show, and it took down 3 shows. It took down us, Supergirl, and Riverdale across the street, and it was just, we were down for almost an hour, and just, he was totally unflappable. It was great.
Especially weird because there was actually a power outage in the story as well.
Exactly. We revealed in the last episode that Shade Haida is in fact alive and has now taken over Russell's body. He's in a tricky situation because he has to survive when a bunch of people want to kill him. So we'll get to see our first glimpses of how Shade Haida operates, which is really fun.
Yeah, he's an interesting character, and J.R. Bourne joining us as a series regular this year really does kind of inhabit a new persona.
And it's interesting because Clark's story intersects with his in a really interesting way.
I lost myself last night. Burning down the palace was a bit extreme. But Clark, he killed your mother. And so many others. And today he will die for it.
She consigned him to death, and now she's feeling that a little bit. It was a bit of a rash decision, made in the heat of the moment. Grief over Abby.
To my followers, this will be the death of a god.
Now she's having to face the consequences of her kind of death sentence. And was she right? And will it create even more problems than it would solve?
Of course it will.
It's the 100. Because it's the 100, nothing can ever be simple. So she actually has a second crisis to deal with.
The core's overheating. The reactor will melt down, and it's bye-bye Sanctum.
We often give characters these difficult choices to make. You're between a rock and a hard place. What are you going to do? And Raven really hasn't had to face those yet, and really hasn't had to be the one making the choice. And in this episode, for the first time, she will.
So how do we stop it? We push in the control rods, we plug the cracks, we're good.
Just that simple.
I like you. Someone has to go into primary containment to get the control rods in place. It's a high radiation environment.
Yeah, I think that was a really important aspect to this story, and I know for you that it was important to sort of put Raven into the crucible that so many of our other characters have been put in. I know there have been scenes in previous episodes or seasons where people have said something to the effect of, we've all done things we're not proud of, and Raven's response is usually, I haven't, because it's true that she hasn't. And so on some level, I think it's important that she really does get to feel what those types of decisions are like, so she can, A, understand her friends more and what they've been going through, and B, of course, understand what she's made out of.
It shows us who Raven is and how she reacts under pressure, but it also spreads out and affects everything else in Sanctum in a really interesting way.
You lost or something?
I could use some help, and your people have the skills.
What's in it for us?
One of the other exciting things we get to do in this episode is finally really meet the Allegis prisoners. You met them a little bit, kind of in a tense situation in the premiere, but we don't really know them as people yet, and this episode gives us the opportunity to explore how they view themselves, how they believe other people view them, rightly or wrongly, probably rightly.
They're making us do the hard work and giving us tents and scraps from their table. I see the way they look at us.
We'll especially get to hear a lot from one of our new characters, Nikki, played by Elena Huffman, who's amazing. We'll get to learn more about her relationships, and how she views the world, and potentially the prejudice against, her people, who are, of course, all criminals.
Chad Rook, who plays Hatch, is amazing as well. I mean, just so fun, and really did sink his teeth into this Southern accent.
We are still here. We are still one people. And we are all in danger.
One of the things I was really excited about in this episode is to dig into Gaia a little bit, because I love Gaia. She's so different from a lot of our characters because she's a woman of faith, and she always has been, and it's very important to her. It's her core. And in this episode, she makes a difficult decision, just like she made a difficult decision in last season's finale.
We tell them the truth.
Don't be a fool, Gaia.
Have some faith in our people, Mother.
I know our people.
They've been pretending that the flame is not destroyed, that Maddie is still the commander, and now Gaia is faced with potentially telling her people that things have changed.
That'll go well, I'm sure.
Suddenly a nuclear meltdown doesn't seem so bad.